everything a woman tells you. She will always leave something out. You're always broke because you spend your money on dumb shit every month. If you've only slept with 5 guys, then why was it so easy to fuck you?
What's up, guys? It's your man, Donovan Sharpe, and welcome to the 343rd edition of TSR Live, your morning cup of red pill truth, wisdom, and awareness. As always, we are presented by 1821manmade.com, your one-stop shop for all of your beard grooming needs. Visit 1821manmade.com today for all of your beard grooming needs. Let's get right to it. I've sold cars on a few different occasions. You guys know that I have an extensive sales background. I've sold new cars, I've sold used cars, I've sold luxury cars, so everything in between. I've sold Hondas, Dodges, Toyotas, Audis, Chevys, Fords, you name it, I've sold them. Well, a common conflict that occurs, specifically with male car buyers, is that inner struggle between what they want versus what they need. Now, as men, typically, we want fast, beautiful cars. We want that sleek, aerodynamic style that all sports cars have. We want that engine that's going to roar when we hit the gas pedal. We want that car that goes from 0 to 60 in less than 4 seconds, or at least close to it. You get the idea. But what a man wants in a car isn't always necessarily what he needs. What most men need out of a car is typically a low car payment, low insurance, reliability, safety, great fuel mileage, and a great warranty. Let's take a look at a couple of car models I used to sell back in 2003. Let's take a look at the Dodge Viper and the Dodge Stratus. Now, the Dodge Viper is clearly the more aesthetically pleasing car. It's faster, the engine is superior, it's a chick magnet. I think that's obvious. But the car payment is going to be extremely high, the insurance is going to be really expensive, and it has terrible gas mileage. If I remember correctly, the 03 Viper got like 13 miles to the gallon in the city and maybe 20 on the highway on a good day. Now, it's a gorgeous machine, guys. Let's get that right. It's fast, it's beautiful, sounds like a monster when you rev it up, and it will turn a lot of female heads. But there's an extremely high price to be paid. And at the end of the day, it doesn't really have anything you need in a car other than maybe reliability. And even then, if you open up the engine more than you need to, which is a temptation in and of itself when you drive a Dodge Viper, you're going to have engine trouble down the road, which reduces its reliability. Not to mention the fact that parts and repair for Dodge Vipers are notoriously expensive. You're spending you're dropping 4 figures every time you bring it into the garage. Ilderton Dodge in High Point, North Carolina. If you don't believe me, go and check out their website. Shameless plug for those guys. The Dodge Stratus, however, isn't anywhere near as gorgeous as the Viper, but it's a decent looking car. It's a good looking car. You're not going to turn heads like the Viper would, but you're not going to get any accusations of driving a beat up junk bucket. It's much safer than the Viper because if you get in a car accident in a Dodge Viper, you're as good as gone. That's all there is to it. But the Stratus is far more likely to keep you alive. The car payments, obviously for a Dodge Stratus, will be a fraction of the Viper car payment, and so is the insurance, incidentally enough. Now, every man wants to drive the proverbial Dodge Viper. And for a short-term fling, guys, listen, it's not a bad option, right? Like, listen, maybe you lease it for a year or two and return it. Maybe you rent it for a summer, have some fun. But it is never a good idea to finance a Viper over 72 months. And trust and believe, guys, plenty of men have made this mistake. A Dodge Viper is not a viable long-term option. Believe that. The smarter choice, guys, is the Stratus. It's much better for us in the long term. You'll have the car paid off long before the warranty runs out. You'll save thousands in insurance payments. It's far more reliable and doesn't cost that much. It doesn't cost as much to repair, even if you have to do that. Well, cars are like women, gentlemen. I know you were waiting for me to get to it. We all want the hot wife, guys. We all want the hot girlfriend. But the truth of the matter is that they're not good for long-term relationships. Unless she was raised on a farm with no internet or raised in an Amish village, girls who have extremely high sexual market value almost always have much lower relationship market value. There is a difference. In this environment, in this current sexual climate, this current dating market, the things that make women sexually attractive are the same things that reduce their relationship market value. Take a look at any Instagram models' comments, and there is no shortage of men saying wifey material. Will you marry me? I love you. Most men foolishly believe that a woman who looks good will also make a good significant other, and nothing could be further from the truth, guys. And these men, they make this mistake in the real world. They grab the hottest girl they can find, thinking that they've got the holy grail because she said she was traditional on the first date. Oh my God, she's beautiful and she's traditional. She wants kids. Oh, my ship has come in. I've hit the lottery. But then they're surprised, shocked, and devastated when she cheats on him 3 weeks after she told him that she loved him. What a man wants in a woman, guys, isn't necessarily what we need in a woman. Just like cars, guys. Again, the Dodge Stratus isn't a Dodge Viper. Not even close. The Viper has far more sexual appeal. It has more sexual market value, as it were, than the Stratus. But the Stratus has far more relationship market value, which makes it the better choice for the long term. Men need to start approaching relationships the same way. Gentlemen, I know it's hard. But it is necessary. And the way to put yourself in an advantageous position in terms of making the right decision on women that you could potentially commit to starts with the ability to distinguish the difference between sexual market value and relationship market value. And that's what we're going to talk about today. My opening rant is brought to you by Happy Hippo Herbals, home of the highest quality kratom on the planet. Happy Hippo Kratom will give you an energy boost, laser focus, and increase your productivity, all without caffeine. Go to happyhippoherbals.com now and save 20% when you pay with Bitcoin. That includes your shipping. Today's strain was Hero Hippo. I don't have it in front of me. Took a couple of grams of Hero Hippo this morning. I didn't get as much sleep as I wanted to last night, but I slept better. I think I got like maybe 7 hours of sleep the night before, and I was groggy all day. Last night, I might have slept 5.5, 6 hours. I feel fine. It's weird. It really is weird how that happens. I have no idea how that happens. It's crazy. It is Friday, October 5th, 2018. Good to have you guys in today on a Friday. The New England Patriots beat the Indianapolis Colts last night. And, listen, like I said yesterday, a lot of people have sort of quasi written off the New England Patriots. And I'm kind of lagging right now because I'm trying to bring up my Facebook page to make sure that I'm also streaming to Facebook and Twitter the way it's supposed to, making sure that all right, so we're good to go. So we're good to go on Facebook. I want to make sure we're good to go on Twitter. And my software also allows me to conjoin the chats, so I can see all the chats from Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. I'm streaming to 3 different YouTube channels right now, and I have all of the chats in one. I just want to make sure that I am streaming live like I'm supposed to be. And looks like we're good to go also on Twitter. And thank you, whoever retweeted this on Twitter. I appreciate that. Get the word out. Okay, good. We're good to go on Twitter. Excellent. So yeah, the Patriots defeated the Indianapolis Colts yesterday. Tom Brady threw his 500th touchdown. Incidentally enough, he threw it to Josh Gordon. Like I said a couple episodes ago when I was talking about the Patriots, a lot of people tend to try to write off the Patriots when they go on a 2-game losing streak in September. Oh, the Patriots are done. Listen, nothing lasts forever. Eventually, this Patriots dynasty is going to come to an end, and I'm one of those people who kind of endorses that theory. But I'm going to backtrack. I'm going to flip-flop. Julian Edelman is back. Of course, they've got Gronk. The defense looks to have improved, and they have Josh Gordon. I'm not saying that they're going to win a Super Bowl, but it wouldn't surprise me if we see him back in a Super Bowl. Again, guys, that's Tom Brady over there. I mean, that's all there is to it. I mean, he's the greatest quarterback ever. He's being coached by the greatest by the greatest football coach ever. There's no question about it. Looks like I'm still lagging. Let me make sure that I don't have anything else running in the background here. Okay. I think I'm okay. Good. I think I'm back on point here. The Eagles play the Vikings this Sunday. That is the 4:30 game, 4:25, 4:30 game. I gotta admit, guys, I'm a little bit worried. I wouldn't call this game a must-win for the Eagles, because if we lose, we're 2-3. The season's not over, but I don't know. 2-3 is a tough hole to dig yourself out of. Thankfully, we play in the weak NFC East, but think of it this way. The Vikings are 1-2-1. They're hungry, man. They got dump trucked at home by the Bills, who had no business dump trucking them. Then they lost to the Rams in a shootout on national TV last Thursday. Plus, they remember getting boat raced by my Eagles right down the road in the NFC title game last year. So they need to get their season back on track. Listen, the Vikings need this win a lot more than the Eagles do. That's for sure. Listen, I'm pulling for the Eagles. Obviously, I'm an Eagles fan, but if I'm a betting man, I'm putting my money on the Vikings. It just, you know, the Eagle. I don't want to say they seem ripe for the picking, but this is a game that the Vikings need to win this football game. If they don't, it's gonna be a tough road back. It really, really is. Shout out to Rob Cruz with the $5 donation. Rob Cruz with the $5 donation. I appreciate that, my friend. If you want to donate to the show, go to www.streamlabs.com/Donovan Sharpe and the number 1. www.streamlabs.com/Donovan Sharpe and the number 1. Again, Rob Cruz, thank you for the $5 donation. I appreciate that. Conor McGregor versus Khabib Nurmagomedov goes down tomorrow in Las Vegas. Listen, word on the street is that it's going to break all kinds of gate records. It's going to set UFC records for the gate. I don't know about pay-per-view. I haven't heard anything about this. But if I'm a betting man, I mean, listen, I'm pulling for Conor McGregor. UFC is, the world is a better place when McGregor wins. I don't think he will. I think Khabib is going to win in a decision. If McGregor wins, it's going to be by knockout. But I think Khabib is going to outlast him. Again, McGregor seems to be, theoretically, he's probably a little bit more civilized. He got that Mayweather money. He's set for life. And listen, he's a fighter. He wants to fight, but when you've got generational wealth in your back pocket in the bank, you're just not as hungry. That's just how it is. I'm a little late coming on the air today because we are getting our water heater replaced. I've got a maintenance guy right down the hallway replacing our water heater. Our water heater started to leak. I got to tell you, man, I've owned many houses in my life. I've lived in houses and paid mortgages. One of the great fallacies of the American dream is that owning a home is the American dream. No, it is not. Owning a home is not the American dream, and I think I'll probably do a show on that. But the number one thing that I love about apartment life, apartment tower life, is that if something breaks or something goes wrong, we either pick up the phone or we submit a ticket, and in 24 hours, a guy is at the door and he's fixing it. Dude, back when I had rental properties, every time something went wrong, I had to get my property manager to go over there. And if he wasn't available, I had to go over there. That's a pain in the ass, man. And if you own your home, and let's say your sewer system gets backed up, well, guess what? You can't just call somebody to come fix it. Oh yeah, you can. They're going to charge you $5,000. So yeah, listen. I mean, the apartment that we live in is not cheap, but part of the luxury of living in a place like this is just being able to pick up the phone and say, hey, XYZ is broken, come fix it. And they're here. So that's what he's out there doing. So if he knows that I do a live radio show, I think when he's done, he might give a knock on the door. I might have to say something to him for 15 seconds. So just be prepared for that. We'll see what happens there. Had a great Brother Pill episode last night. I think it was entitled "Love Yourself More Than the Black Community Loves You." Very, very live spirited debate. Had a lot of phone calls. We had some guy named, what was his name? I didn't know who he was when he called. I found out who he was after the call. His name is Chem123 or something like that. The guy, it's so funny. The guy, you guys can go and listen to the episode. It's on O'Shave Duke Jackson's vlog channel. But he called up, and of course, I'm taking the call. I don't know who he is or what it's about, but he started talking, and it became very clear to me what his message was. In a nutshell, this guy was trying to tell us that because what he was trying to do is trying to shame black men for endorsing the idea of dating outside of our race. He talked about the fact that black men are going to Brazil and they're going to other countries, they're dating outside their race, and they're running from the problem. He tried to frame it like, you know what? Women, men of all races have their women treat them like crap, but they stick it out. And you guys should too. And he said one thing that tipped his hand. And here's what he said. Yeah, you've got dozens of black YouTubers out here, and they are telling black guys to start dating other races of women, and that's a problem. I said, oh, I got you. So I asked him straight up, do you have a problem with black men dating outside of our race? Do you have a problem with black men having sex with and dating white women, Asian women, Mexican women, etc.? And he's, no, I didn't say that. I'm just saying, yeah, you guys gotta go listen to the episode. Basically, the guy called us up to tell us to stay in our lane. He doesn't want black people to he doesn't want black people to date outside of our race. Listen, I'm not in his head, but a lot of people of other races feel that way. And listen, I can't say I blame them, right? But the fact of the matter is black men have more game, man. We have more game because we have to. And a byproduct of that is that other girls are going to be attracted to that. That's just all there is to it. So it was an interesting phone call. It was a very interesting brother pill. Definitely go and check that out. This guy, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure he's done a response video or whatever. Listen, the guy's a fucking coward. He sounds like a woman on the phone. And I pulled his card very quickly. And O'Shea Duke Jackson, to his credit, he took the high road. He says, listen, I don't want this guy to go on and say that we didn't answer his questions. And LAR Movement took sort of another tact. LAR Movement handled him the way he does. But I think LAR Movement probably brought in some other elements. Like, you're not black, you don't know the black experience, blah, 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 blah. But I cut right to the heart of the situation. I was like, wait a minute, this guy is calling us and telling us that he has a problem with us dating outside of our race. Like, that's what this was about. He didn't fool me. It was very obvious to me from the start what was really happening. I pulled his card. He didn't like it, and it is what it is. So definitely go and check that out. Very, very interesting Brother Pill podcast. And again, if you want to catch the Brother Pill podcast, it is Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursday evenings at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on O'Shea Duke Jackson's vlog channel. Devin's gay hairdresser is coming over to do her hair tonight. Again, we're getting Devin ready for the 21 convention. Of course, everything seems to be everything. Listen, I'm getting all of my preparations done, and again, I will be speaking at the 21 convention. The day that I'm speaking at the 21 convention, my day, of course, is I'm going to be speaking on Sunday, October 14th, 2018 at 10 o'clock a.m. So that's when I'm going to be doing my 21 convention speech. Also, I know a lot of guys are asking me, hey, are your speeches going to be, give me a second here, guys. I'm actually pulling up the video so I can start the chat here. A lot of guys ask if the 21 convention speech is going to be streamed. They are going to be streamed partially. I think Anthony said he's going to stream up to 15 minutes of each speech on YouTube. So he's going to give you guys little snippets and then he'll release them. This is the way he's done it forever. So again, if you want to catch part of my speech, just be sure to tune into the 21 Studios channel. At that point, at 10 o'clock, or right around 10 o'clock, I'm going to start at 10 o'clock. I don't know when he's going to start streaming my particular speech. There we are. There's the chat. Very good. Let's go pop out chat here quickly. And now I can put this back in. I'm all over the place, guys. I do apologize. I try to be much more organized, but it has been a crazy, crazy morning. But yes, the 21 convention. The 21 convention speech is going to be, mine is going to be on October 14th. That's a Sunday, so be sure to tune in for that. You'll probably get to see 10, maybe 15 minutes of it, and then, of course, he will release it slowly. Speaking of which, I had a contest last night, as you guys all well know, on social media. Which slutty outfit should Devin wear before I beat the brakes off of her? And I'm going to go ahead and put the link in. These were the two outfits that you had to choose from. It was the red outfit and the, quote, purple outfit. And the winner was the red outfit. I think most guys like a woman in red. I'm certainly in that camp. And I said I promised pictures, and here they are. I put it up on Instagram. I put it up on my Patreon. I put it up on my Facebook and my Twitter, etc., etc. So there you are. The winner of the contest was red. And of course, Devin was looking, dude, she was looking unbelievable. You know what's interesting, man? Like, listen, you guys all know Devin has a great body, and we're actually gonna talk about that a little bit later. Love Devin's body, dude. Huge, perky tits that stand straight up. She's got a great ass. But I'm gonna tell you what, man. My favorite part about her best feature to me, are her legs. Devin has some sexy ass legs, man. She really, really does. I was really like looking at those, just looking at her live, man. You know, a lot of guys are like, are you a tit man or an ass man? Listen, I'm all three. I like legs, breast, thighs, ass. I like all that. And fortunately for me, Devin has that in spades. So, but again, Devin's hairdresser is going to come over and raise her sexual market value by about 1.5 points tonight. So I'm looking forward to that. This is the only time I will let another man in my house while Devin is here, as if he's the gay hairdresser. And by the way, and here's the thing. He's giving me a free beard color because I'm spending a shitload of money with this guy. Like, and again, this is part of the process, right? This is part of the gig. If I want my girlfriend to look good, you got to spend the money. My idea, my dime. So he's going to give me a free beard coloring when he does her hair. So my beard will be nice and tight for the 21 convention. But I remember the first time he colored my beard, he's like, "Yeah, my boyfriend is black too." And I'm like, "Oh." But he's a good dude, man. He's a really, really good dude. Does very good work. Makes Devin look very, very hot. Makes Devin look very, very hot. I have no problem with throwing business his way, even if he prefers African American males for company. If you want to chime in about sexual market value versus relationship market value, give me a call. 914-205-5356. If you have an unrelated question about girls, game, relationship, sex, or anything red pill related, you guys can hit me too. If you disagree with anything I say, you guys can definitely give me a call. It looks like we've got a troll. I'm the biggest racist because I married a black woman and I got black kids. Yeah, this guy Morse code giving a speech now. Yeah, this guy. Yeah, whatever. Listen. Trolls will never call in. So, yeah, as a matter of fact, just get Morse code out of here. I'm just gonna hide him on the channel. I don't want him back. Dude, it's so funny. I catch more hate from black men and black women. This is unbelievable. Miami J says, go blonde on the beard. Negative. Definitely not doing that. Wouldn't that technically count as going Super Saiyan? Blonde on the beard for all you anime nerds out there. Follow, add, and like me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just do a quick search for Donovan Sharpe on all three platforms. To get access to all of my content, go to patreon.com/Donovan Sharpe. There you'll find the archive of all complete episodes of TSR Live, both audio and video, so you can listen on the go or at your leisure. Now, you can watch my show live on weekday mornings at 10 Eastern, but if you want to be able to rewatch and re-listen to the episodes in their entirety, less than 17 cents a day is all it takes. If you want to support the show, but you're a little low on cash, you can still contribute. Just go to donovansharpe.com and shop through my Amazon affiliate link at the top of my homepage. By doing all your Amazon shopping through my link, you'll be supporting the show at no cost to you. Great way to contribute if you're not a millionaire like Morris Code, who, if were a millionaire, probably wouldn't date black women.
I had the opportunity of booking Donovan for 1 hour, and it was money well invested. Donovan is a student of human behavior, more specifically female behavior. If you have a question about game, Donovan will listen to what you got to say, and it is definitely worth every penny. He's brilliant, and he offers intellectual stimulation for anybody who wants to listen to him. I would highly recommend Donovan. Book your appointment today.
If you're looking for a mentor to help you during your red pill transformation, if you need guidance to help you navigate yourself through a situation, or if you're looking for unfiltered sound advice on dating, relationships, and or sex, go to donovansharpe.com/consults and fill out the questionnaire. When you fill out the questionnaire, guys, make sure you give me details. Give me stories. Give me examples, gentlemen. The more information you give me, the more effective my advice will be. So don't be afraid to write me a novel. Don't be afraid to write a 5-page dissertation. More is more. Now, as you guys all know, my consultations are not cheap, but there are a couple of ways to save a shitload of money. The first way is to become an $8 patron. As an $8 patron, you'll get access to exclusive weekly articles and videos, but you'll also get a 40% discount when you book a one-on-one consultation. The second way is to become a $25 patron. Again, you'll get exclusive articles and videos as well, but you will also get a 30-minute consultation every month at no charge to you. This is a great benefit to have in your hip pocket because I can give you monthly advice on an ongoing situation you're dealing with, how to progress with your newfound red pill awareness and knowledge, or if you want to give me monthly report on your dates, your women, or anything else you have going on in your life as it pertains to your development as a man. So go to patreon.com/Donovan Sharpe to become a patron, or go to donovansharpe.com//consults. That's with an S on the end. Book your one-on-one consultation today. You will not regret it. All right, let's check the chat before we get started here. Let's see what we've got going on. Let us see who is in the TSR Towers. Armando Moreno was the first past security. I'm sorry, he was the first in the towers. I'm gonna have a talk with my security, letting Morse code in. We don't like hating ass niggas up here at TSR Towers. You know how that goes. Miami J is in the house. I am Alpha Masculion. Rob Cruz says, chilling like a villain in my office. The door is locked. Dude, listen, do not watch TSR live on your work computer. That is always a bad idea. Masculion agrees. He says, don't let the show get you fired, Rob. Brandon Storeball in the house. Yosef Isaiah Israel on the Facebook side says, good morning, Donovan, Mr. Wisdom. Absolutely, missed you too, brother. Nigel Diggs says, time for the best learning on the web. Rozelle Nichols says, Douglas September. I guess he's trying to, he's bringing somebody in. Yeah, tag people. Tell them about the show, man. Tell them about the show. Let's see who else we've got. Rob Cruz in the house says, Dodge Stratus equals Neon. Same body. Remember in the Marines, guys were getting them cheap car payment. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Dude, the Dodge Viper, man, that thing was, at the time, was unbelievable. Kofi Ajay says, Corvette is greater than Viper. You know, I think I agree. I think I agree with that. I think I agree. Outcast Drew says, what's up, Donovan? Enjoying the show. Appreciate that. Rob Cruz says, I wish I can take that kratom. Rozelle Adams, appreciate you tagging people to encourage them to come on in. Brian Malval says, a point lower than you on the sexual market value will always treat you than a point higher or right at. Listen, I totally agree. Totally agree. Rob Cruz says he turned off the game halfway into the second quarter. Yeah, the Colts made it a game for a little while, but then Sony Michel ran in a touchdown. Pretty much ended it. Kyle Mitchell says the women I end up in relationships with have less sexual chemistry and attractiveness than the crazy ass women I end up in sexually based relationships with. Yes, crazy pussy, psycho pussy, that's the best pussy. That's the best pussy you're ever gonna get, man. Daddy issues pussy, dude. Oh my god, yeah. The crazier the girl, the better the pussy. That's how it is. Sharpe Assist agrees it is a must win for the Vikes. Totally agree, man. They have to win that football game. That's why I'm worried. Sean Smith, good to see you in here. Kofi says the Falcons season is over. What are they, 1-3? 1-4? They got the Steelers? Yeah, if they lose to the Steelers, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Ronnie Brooks says he caught the Brother Pill stream. It was very good. Appreciate you watching. Oh, there's my mic. Chase LeBeau says your home is not an asset. Robert Kiyosaki. Miami J agrees, says nope, houses are liabilities. Very good. Miami J says when people argue dating outside your race is wrong, they are by definition racist. I don't know. I mean, white guys who don't want black guys or anybody listen, when somebody has a problem with African American men dating outside their race, to me that doesn't necessarily make them a racist. It just shows that they're envious, you know? And listen, that's not wrong. I actually told the guy in the air, listen, if you have a problem with black guys dating white guys or Mexicans or Asian girls, that's fine. Like, listen, I mean, I don't blame you for feeling that way. Like, we have more game than you. Like, by the sound of, like, just listening to the guy's voice, you could just tell that he was just green with envy. So yeah, if I sounded what, if just based on what he sounded like, if I were that guy, yeah, I'd probably be a little bit concerned too. But don't beat around the bush, just say it. Right? Like, don't, you know, he used all kinds of excuses. Well, you guys should reinvest. No, dude. Like, you don't care if we reinvest. Right at the beginning of the call, he started talking about, well, African Americans should do this and that. And I was like, wait a minute, why do you care? He completely circumvented the question and kept talking. I didn't hear anything he said after that until he said, when black men tell other black men to date outside their race, that's a problem. And that's where I had him. That's where I was like, dude, there it was. The shoe had dropped. You guys can listen, watch the episode. Like, you could see my moment of clarity. I was like, you know what? There it was. I was looking for his reason. I found it. Armando Moreno says the truth hurts. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. All right, let's see what else we got here. Charles Merchant says, I like how you handled Pretty Libra. Yeah. Give me a break, man. Yeah, I don't debate with women, man. I'm just not doing that. Miami J says, I'm leaving the 21 convention right after my speech. All right, good stuff, man. Good stuff. Andre Silva says, that's the real conversation. We can't take a hoe too seriously and start to develop feelings for a slut. Most women are not LTR material. They are free. They are rise to be as free as possible until they get too old. Absolutely. Absolutely. Joby1 Coyote says, I will not show you my tits. Well, you know, you gotta ask, right? Gotta shoot your shot. That's how it is. John T. Campbell says the replays are always a better option, as you can skip the overture and get into the show directly. Yeah, John T. Actually, what I've started doing, John T., and I know that was a concern of yours with this, commentary in the beginning. What I've actually started doing when I put my videos on Patreon, I put a timestamp on it, and I let you know, hey, to skip the commentary to get to the nitty gritty, go to 41:47 or 52:56. So I know not everybody's a fan of, me running my mouth for the first half an hour or so of the show. But I like doing that. Johnny Bravo says, got any good tips on how to out alpha the man who's trying to compete against you? Gonna need a little bit more detail on that, Johnny. You got to give me a story. So send me an email. Go to donovansharpe.com. Hit the contact tab. Give me a little bit more detail. And I'll be sure to answer that question for you. That's a good question, though. A lot of guys have those questions. John T. Campbell says, watch Donovan also on the Redman group discussions. Yes. Guys, I'm on the air all the time. I'm on the air 9 times a week, man. In 6 days, I'm on the air 9 times. So on Mondays, I'm on the air for 2 hours. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, I'm on the air twice for a total of 5.5 to 6 hours. Fridays, I'm on the air for 2 hours. Saturday, I'm on the air for 2 hours. So one of the hardest working men in the business. I think the only guy that works harder than I do is probably O'Shea. That nigga's live. That nigga's probably live right now. Nigga's live and asleep. That dude works hard, man. Straight up. Very good. Rolo Escucha says, someone added me. What's the conversation in here? Yeah, Rolo, in a few minutes, we're going to start talking about the difference between relationship market value and sexual market value. So stay tuned. We're going to get into the nitty gritty. Jose says, the only thing I disagree with is the monk mode thing. I don't see the value of going monk mode unless you already have the women you want and just want to take a break and work on yourself. Yeah, I would endorse that. Oh boy, now we've got a car conversation going on in here. The Corvette versus the Viper. Which is the better car? Is it an everyday car? Etc., etc. Winston Wolf says, I think white folks have an idea of women being alpha widowed after going black. A lot of times they are. Kyle Mitchell says, I feel sorry for dudes that have to be in a relationship with a chick who fucked me. I do not love these hoes, but god damn it, I like them. Hell yeah. Joby1 Coyote disagrees. He says, Winston Wolf, no way, bro. I fucked a black guy's girlfriend all night and she dumped him in the morning. Then I left without giving her any details. Race doesn't come into it. You know, it's interesting that we're having this conversation before we get into this SMV versus RMV thing. Black males are portrayed in the media, on social media, as static alphas. We're all hyper masculine. We're all muscular. We've all got tattoos, blah, 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 blah. So when a white guy thinks of his girlfriend having fucked a black guy, he thinks of her fucking professional athletes, porn stars, right? Guys who look and act like me. You know what I'm saying? Guys, guess what, man? Like the same percentage of beta males and white men, it's the same as in black men. Okay? Listen, there are just as many black betas as the percentage of beta is the same as it is with black men and white men, especially men that were raised in America. Not all of us have 19-inch dicks, six-pack abs, who can fuck for 19 hours and make girls squirt like a faucet, right? So the girl who had the black boyfriend, she dumped him. Her black boyfriend isn't the typical, oh my God, I can't believe you fucked a black guy type boyfriend. That's what it is. You know, I'm sure you can bring a girl back, but not all black guys are created equal. And I think our media has a lot to do with that. So that's always a very interesting conversation to have. I've actually done an episode called "Are White Girls Tainted When They Date Black Guys?" JWC says, Viper any day. Come on, man. After that spoiler, dude, the Viper is awesome. Kyle Mitchell says, monk mode is how you get your career right. Sometimes you got to put women second. Hispanic Chris says, if Romo came back, what team would pick him up and would you watch him play? I think the Cowboys would pick him up and damn right I'd watch him play. You kidding me? Yeah, Dak Prescott is he's decent, but he's not who we thought he was. He's not. That's just all there is to it. He's going to be a solid NFL quarterback, but he's not going to be, his ceiling is not as high as we thought it was. 914-205-5356 is the number to call if you want to get into the show. Before we get into it, let's get to the phone lines. Area code 702. You're on live with Donovan. Go ahead.
Hey, Donovan, it's C from Vegas. What's going on, bro?
Hey, what's up, brother? How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. I was actually thinking about the conversation about, white women, black men, and, I'll just add my 2 cents.
All right, let's do it, man.
One of the reasons, what a lot of guys don't realize is that, now this is my opinion, Donovan, so I'm sure you're going to might interject or.
No, go ahead.
One of the reasons why white guys get so mad is because American society for a long time was to insulate white guys from white society from competition. You know what I'm saying? Because we had segregation, we had slavery and stuff like that. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So when black men were finally able to compete, you know what I'm saying, this was an outrage to them, or they felt like, oh well, black men are able to compete. You know what I'm saying? They won't be able to amount to anything anyway. Again, this is my opinion. So, when we're able to date white women, it's an outrage to them because for so long, black men were told that, we're not as good, we're inferior, and also, Donovan, you brought up another good point where we portrayed something in the media. That's because black people don't have their own media. So, therefore, when you say that we're portrayed as static alphas, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of true on a certain level because we can't portray ourselves because we don't have our own media because like BET and stuff that's owned by Viacom, which is white owned. Right.
So
you get what
I totally agree, man.
I will say this though, Donovan. On the flip side though, sports, which is actually an absolute meritocracy, is kind of like the only window where you see like a lot of alpha black guys.
There you go. Listen, you said the key word, meritocracy. Listen, sports is the last true bastion of meritocracy. It doesn't matter what your skin tone is. If you can play, you will see the field. If you can't, you won't.
Right. As a matter of fact, Donovan, not to get political real quick.
No, go ahead. Do it, man.
No, because what I was going to say was, one of the reasons that there was this big hubbub about, you know, kneeling in the flag and stuff like that was because the NFL is a true meritocracy. What do you mean? Essentially what I'm saying is, you know, white government, you know, right-wing government couldn't put their thumb on the scales because the NFL is supported by what? Virile black men.
That's right.
I'm saying black men support. So the backbone of the NFL is supported by black guys. So if you're going to watch the NFL, you're gonna have to see the kneeling, full stop,
right,
whether you like it or not. So stop crying about it. You know what I'm saying? Get your balls up, and you know what I'm saying. Just watch the game. But at the end of the day, so basically, let's go full circle. So basically, at the end of the day, you get for so long. Remember, and also, Donovan, a lot of people forget this. So let me also say this.
Okay. We
were the only race that was mentioned in the Constitution. White wasn't mentioned in the Constitution. Asians, Indian, you know, Hispanic. No, in the Constitution, we were told we were 3/5 human.
Right. Right.
You remember that?
I do.
So at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? There's a certain element of hate when people have to compete with black men. Well, white guys have to compete with black men for the women. It's an outrage to them because these guys were told, for better or worse, for better or worse, that you're superior to the black man and blah blah blah. We get feed a steady diet. Here's another thing, Here's another thing. I'll jump after this, but
right.
Think about this for a second because we talk about SMV. You know, you have to compete in the marketplace. Don't forget, Donovan. Like it's just very funny because when you're insulated from competition for so long, and you finally have to compete, your muscles are atrophied.
There you go. There it is.
So when you're insulated for so long, right? And here's another thing too. Here's the 1-2 punch. When you're literally competing with a guy who, you know what I'm saying, because historically black people have had less in resources and generational wealth. But when you see these guys taking your women or you're dating them, it's just, oh my God, how can this be happening? Yeah. Oh my God, he's a black guy. How could you be dating him?
Right.
You know, so there's and also I think just to this, I just feel like Donovan, at the end of the day, I think at the end of the day too, guys feel, who shouldn't date outside their race or whatever. Here's my only thing about that. I don't care. Truth be told, I don't care.
Right.
Of course, I want the black community. I want the black community to survive and prosper and go forward. I really want that. You know what I'm saying? I do care about my community. I should probably watch that show with O'Shea, with you and O'Shea, and do. But I want to say this. My only beef, you get what I'm saying? My only beef, and it's so funny that I can relate this back to game too. My only beef is when, I call these guys the crossover Negro. When I mean the crossover, when they start dating white women, they don't act fully black. It's like they feel like they got to blunt the blackness to be with a white woman or any race for that matter. You know what I'm saying? Let's need to be clear about that. I know you've seen these guys, Donovan, where, like they're just a non-threatening black guy. You get what I'm saying? Just non-threatening. You know what I'm saying? Just non-threatening. When I mean like the crossover Negro, what I'm trying to say is like they're almost trying to wash away the blackness. That doesn't mean blackness means like, oh, I'm a thug, I'm a tough guy, whatever. But they're just trying to blunt it so much, and it's like, man, you're not even being yourself.
Yeah, I would disagree with. Yeah, I would wholeheartedly disagree with you on that, because I think a lot of times what gets lost in translation in terms of, black guys dating outside the race. And listen, man, when black guys date outside the race, nobody really cares about it until he starts dating white girls. So let's just go ahead and keep it real and narrow it in there. Right. When black guys date Mexican girls and Asian girls, nobody bats an eyebrow. But as soon as they see him with a blonde white girl like me, they're like, oh my God. I can't really speak for everybody. And I don't really pay attention. I don't know. I guess I just don't pay attention to other black guys who date white girls. I just kind of worry about myself. But to say that black guys try to sort of blanch themselves, try to act more white in order to date white girls, that's counterproductive as far as game goes. if a black guy tries to act white in order to date white girls aren't going to date him. The reason she wants to date a black guy is because he's not a white guy. And, you know, listen, I mean, yeah, I'm sure that there are some white guys out there that as soon as they get with a white girl, all of a sudden now they feel like they have to do more white things. And I'm sure that there are a lot of guys out there like that, but I certainly can't co-sign that on my own. I've always been who I am. And I think that we all sort of try to not really acquiesce to the girl, but we try to impress women, right? Like we try to do and say certain things to impress women. But as soon as you wake up and you find the red pill, it doesn't really matter what her race is. You're going to be who you are. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. You know what? That's actually a pretty good conversation to have. We might do a brother pill on that. Hey, do black guys who date white girls, do they try to act white? Do they feel some sort of obligation to act white? If so, then why? But I certainly can't put myself in that camp.
I was going to say, Donovan, I'll jump. I was going to say, that probably is a really good episode.
Yeah.
I will just say this. I've seen it a lot. And you know what? And by the way, you're absolutely right. It is counterproductive because essentially what I'm saying is, I'm not saying like in the girl, like, oh my God, be yourself. No,
you did the girl voice just like, I can't even do the girl voice right now. My voice is yours. You did it better than me.
But essentially what I'm saying is, don't acquiesce to the women. And I just see a lot of guys, they just acquiesce and think,
absolutely. And that's just, and to be honest with you, that's just lack of game. That's lack of game. I don't think that's race related.
Fair enough. All right, Don. Oh, by the way, Donovan, and you know what? We're gonna be enemies for a little bit because the Giants versus the Eagles, man. This is gonna be.
Oh no!
I know.
Oh my God. Well, let me be the first. Let me be the first to apologize to you for the 24-point loss that you guys are going to take that L.
Listen, Donovan. To be fair, I think it's time for Eli to go. I'm serious. I just think it's time for him to go. He's just not.
I think so. I love Eli, but I think it's. Here's the thing. Though. And we'll get on with the show in a minute, but you bring up a very good point. There's the thing. The worst thing that could happen for the Giants is if they go 8-8, because if they go 8-8, what are they going to have? Like the 15th or the 16th pick. By the time they get to the 15th or 16th pick, there's not going to be a quarterback on the board. I'm not saying you throw games, but the Giants need to suck this year so that they can have a top 5 pick, use some of their assets to trade up and get a quarterback. That's what they need to do. It's time for Eli to go. I totally agree. Totally agree, man.
Facts. It's just the game is passing by. He's a great quarterback. I love him, but the game is passing by. Take care, Don.
2 bowls, bro. All right. My man CJ in Vegas checking in. All right, well, let's go ahead and get this party started. Sexual market value versus relationship market value. Shout out to Sao Paulo and Alexander Bowles says he is watching at work. Uh-oh. Alexander Bowles is watching at work. Y'all better warn him. Y'all better tell him. If you're going to watch at work, don't watch it on your company computer, man. Straight up. Oh, Charles Merchant wants to know about mods. Actually, you know what? Before I get started, and I do apologize for the delay here, guys. Let me get into the chat. And I'm going to start modding people because I really haven't modded anybody. Charles Merchant is now a moderator. Modern Life Dating is now a moderator. Let me jump back up here. Shout out to Jervis Horton is in the house. Yosun says Donovan. I'm sorry, not Jervis Horton. Yosun says Donovan, I am your Mexican father. Actually, I fucked so many Mexican girls, I just might be your father. Actually. All right, very good. Let's see. Oh, Yosun might be a troll. Yeah, let him stay in. I'll let him stay in. Mr. Old School Writer, definitely gonna be a mod. Of course, Sharpe Assist is a mod. Miami J is a mod. If Freelance Ronan makes his way in here, somebody mod him. Let's see who else. Lone Revolver. Chase LeBeau, definitely a mod. And again, if I don't make you a mod immediately, don't take it personally. This is just how it is. Armando Moreno, definitely a mod. Rob Cruz is a mod. So welcome, the TSR mod squad. Masculine is definitely a mod. Very good. You guys are my ride or die niggas, man. Y'all definitely keep it 100. You guys keep the riff raff out. All right, I've got an anonymous caller on the line, but I'm gonna make you hold there for just a minute because I really need to go ahead and push this episode forward. We are 50 minutes in, and it's time to go ahead and start talking about the topic at hand. So we're going to talk about a few elements in terms of relationship market value versus sexual market value. So the first and foremost, the first element we're going to take a look at is attractiveness. I think that's a good place to start. Listen, obviously, in order to get any sort of attention for, a relationship or sex, a woman has to be attractive. She has to be at the very least fuckable. Okay? If she's not, we're not interested. Women talk all the time about their education and I've got a degree and I can cook and I can clean and I believe in traditional relationships and make America great again and I want to be a wife and I'm going to be submissive. That is great, okay? Don't listen. Those are great traits that you have if you actually have them. But if you're not attractive, if I don't want to fuck you, I'm not interested. You can be the world's most feminine woman, okay? If you don't look good in a bikini, if you don't look good wearing Devin's stripper heels, I don't want to fuck you. I'm not doing it. Here's what men need to understand, guys. Here is what men needs to understand. If you want a woman for a relationship, you are going to have to sacrifice. You're going to have to sacrifice a little bit of SMV in terms of appearance for relationship market value. Every man dreams of marrying an 8 or a 9 or a 10. Every man wants a hot girlfriend, a hot wife. Every man wants a girlfriend that's an 8, a 9, or a 10. Newsflash, guys, here. 8s, 9s, and 10s are community property. Everybody's had a ride. Listen, 8s, 9s, and 10s work in the sex industry, whether they're cocktail waitresses, strippers, prostitutes, whether they turn tricks, whether they turn escorts. And even if they don't end up in the sex trade, 8s, 9s, and 10s only fuck the highest value guys. They fuck the richest guys. They fuck the guys with the biggest dicks. They fuck the guys who have the best looks. They fuck the highest value guys. And highest value doesn't always mean money. No, highest value means the best looking, tallest, biggest dick ass niggas you can find. And if they happen to be all rolled up into one professional athletes, then she's definitely going to be an alpha widow. Jalen Ramsey and Jack Collinsworth did a special on Sunday NFL Countdown where Jalen Ramsey was pretending to be a real estate agent in Jacksonville. He had on a wig and a disguise, and him and Jack were taking turns, right? So they would ask questions to these people, and then of course, hey, I'm Jalen Ramsey. Oh, I'm your biggest fan, and then everybody would have a good laugh. Well, it was Jack Collinsworth. Jack Collinsworth is the son of Chris Collinsworth. He's a commentator, does NFL Live, Sunday NFL Countdown, et cetera, et cetera. D. Wee says 8s, 9s, and 10s belong to the game, straight up. And so this hot young white girl comes in to look at the house, and Jack says, "Yeah, do you like the Jacksonville Jaguars?" She's like, "Yeah." He's like, well, have you met any of the players? The girl kind of laughs. She smiles. She's like, yeah, you could say that. This bitch has been ran through. And then when Jalen Ramsey has the reveal, they look like they might have known each other. But listen, man, 8s, 9s, and 10s, fuck the highest value guys. They do. So by the time she's done riding the carousel, she's been ran through. She's alpha widowed. You are never, ever going to be enough for an 8, a 9, or a 10. If you can snag an 8, a 9, or a 10 at the age of 19, 20, 21, you might have a chance. But if she's an 8 or 9, if she ever was an 8, a 9, or a 10, and she's 30, 32, 33 years old, you don't have a chance. I would say that a woman's peak sexual attractiveness is probably somewhere between the ages of 21 and 25. That's when girls are the hottest, give or take a year or two in either direction. This, of course, depends upon genes, genetics, habits, things of that nature, right? But generally, the hottest girls fall between 21 and 25 years old. Devin's got a hot body to be sure, but my guess is that her body was hotter when she was 24. Now she's 34. Now, again, she's not a snowflake, but Devin didn't grow tits until she was 30. Like, I've seen pictures of her when she was 24. She was, she looked better when she was 24, but she was flat chested. Now that she's 34, her tits are huge. I don't know how this happened, whatever. That's just me bragging. But when an 8, a 9, or a 10 has to settle because they don't want to be alone. She does it, okay? Now, if she does settle, she's bored and she's still looking for those alphas that she used to fuck, those alphas that used to give her that attention. That is when and why they cheat. 8s, 9s, and 10s are useless because they've never had to be useful. I've said this several times. I actually did a Sharpe short. You can find it on donovansharpe.com, or you can just Google why hot girls are useless, Donovan Sharpe, and you guys can listen to that. You can also find that on Patreon. Now, the reason why hot girls are useless is they get everything in life just for looking good. They get everything. They get attention. They get dinners, drinks. They get their bills paid. They get their rent paid, car payments. You know, a lot of them end up just becoming sugar babies. So if you're going to get everything you want just because of the way you look, why would you have the desire to learn anything else? I liken hot girls to a guy like Michael Vick. Michael Vick he is the most electrifying college football player I have ever seen. And when he got to the NFL, he was equally as electrifying. Well, Michael Vick didn't learn to read defenses until he got out of prison and signed with the Eagles. Why? Because he wasn't quite as fast. He was still fast, but he wasn't quite as fast. Michael Vick didn't learn to read defenses early in his career because he didn't have to. If his first read wasn't available, he'd just take off and run, 25-yard run. We've all seen the Vick highlights. Well, it's the same as hot girls. Michael Vick was the hot girl his whole life, so he didn't have to read defenses. I've been in prison for 2 years. I've still got a little bit of speed left, but not quite as much as I used to. Now I have to start checking down. Now I got to start making my first, second, and third read. Now I got to run out of bounds. I have to add more utility to my game. This is what hot girls go through when they get older. Let's bring Devin into the conversation. Devin is a 7. She's a 7. A lot of people think, oh my God, Devin's not a 9 or a 10. She's a 7. In the face, she's a 6.5. She has a 6.5 face. She has above average looks, slightly above average looks in the face. In her face, she's a 6 on the worst day with no makeup. On her best day, her face is a 7. Her body, on the other hand, is an 8.5. Her body is an 8.5. Her body is an 8 on her worst day. On her best day, her body is a hard 9. Maybe even a little higher depending upon what she is wearing. And anybody who just take a stroll through my social media feed. Devin's got a hot fucking bod. You guys know that. Now think about this. If Devin were an 8, maybe an 8.5, right? If you increase her sexual market value by 1 point, if she were 7.5 to an 8 in the face and at a 9.5 to a 10 body, she'd make a terrible girlfriend, guys. Terrible. I'd never be able to tame her. And the reason I know this is because listen, man, it's hard enough as it is. Listen, I might be able to for a little while, but eventually she would go feral, as all 8s, 9s, and 10s eventually do. Even though she's just a 7, guys, she still gets looks. People look at her. Dudes check her out. Even when we're shopping and she looks like hell, frumpy t-shirt, blue jeans, dudes still look at her. When we go out on dates and she's dressed to the 9s, earrings, short little sundress, heels, men and women look at her. Imagine if she looked like that everywhere she went. Just imagine that. That's what it would be like if Devin were an 8. 8s, 9s, and 10s belong to the game. They are community property. I am very fortunate to have a 7 as a girlfriend. Sometimes she can push 7.5 if she really, really tries. That's perfectly fine, as long as she's a 7.5, 8 around me. But Devin's a 7. I'm not going to say, oh yeah, my girlfriend's a 9 or a 10. No, she's not a 10, guys. She's a 7. You must sacrifice looks if you want a long-term relationship. You are not going to have a successful long-term relationship with an 8, a 9, or a 10. That is the sacrifice you have to make. Don't look for an 8, a 9, or a 10, gentlemen. Look for a 6 or a 7. 6s and 7s don't look like 8s, 9s, or 10s. But every girl has that one trait that makes her irresistible. They have that one trait. Maybe she has a great ass. Maybe she has great tits. Maybe she has great legs. Devin's got all 3. So I'm fortunate in that regard. Don't look for a long-term relationship with an 8, a 9, or a 10. Between a 6 and a 7, that's the sweet spot. And it makes all the difference as far as the mentality goes. If you are listening on SoundCloud and you want to listen to the rest of sexual market value versus relationship market value, head on over to donovansharpe.com or patreon.com/Donovan Sharpe. Again, if you are listening to the replay on SoundCloud, head on over to donovansharpe.com or patreon.com/Donovan Sharpe.